So as a programming refresher, I'm going to convert the algorithm that we just talked about, selection sort, into code. So I'm going to start off with an array that represents the values that I just did a demo of. I'm going to create a method that can be used to find the location of the minimum item. So it's going to be finding the index. So its input will be an array. It's going to iterate through the entire array. Okay, and we need some way of keeping track of where that minimum item is at. So I'm going to create an integer variable that represents that location. We'll start it out at the beginning of the array. And then I'm going to look at each individual item as I go through this array and see if it's better than that minimum candidate I've got so far. So this is kind of comparable to when I was pushing a piece up to be slightly out of line. If it's better, I'll kind of update what my best candidate is. And when I'm all done, I'll return my best overall location. Of course, we sometimes want to start at a different location, so I'm going to add in an integer variable that represents my start location and both my initial value of location and my loop start there. Okay, we also need the ability to swap elements, so I'm going to create a static method to help me swap elements. Its input will be an array of integers and the two indices of the items that I want to swap. So if you remember the process of a swap, you have to have a temporary variable that represents the value in one of the locations. You copy it from one location. Then you overwrite that first location with the value from the second location. And then you put your temporary variable in that second location. Okay, so let's go back and finish our main selection sort. So I'm going to have to go through each of my positions of interest in my array. So I'm going to create a loop that starts at I and 0 and goes all the way through my array. And this is identifying my location that I'm going to be swapping something into. I'm then going to use my little helper method to find the minimum value from my array, starting at that particular location. And then I'll do my swap. And when I'm all done, I'm going to use a print statement. I'm going to use a helper method, arrays.toString, to help me print out the contents of the array. And let's run it. And it looks sorted to me.